Are you ready? Hey, think you can tell us what to do? You think you can tell us what to wear? You think that you're better? Well, you better get ready.
All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Retro Wrestling Revival. Great to see everybody tonight. Hopefully, everybody's having a wonderful night. Richie's not having a good night on the other end.
Not at all.
He's hot and bothered already tonight. He's pissed, but we'll get into that in a
very
minute.
pissed.
He's pissed. We'll get into that in a minute, though. We're gonna make his mood. We're gonna make his mood.
We're gonna remember when Taz.
Yeah, we're going to turn his frown upside down tonight, and we're going to have some fun on the show. I am John Wineland, and of course, it's Mr. Richie Reardon. How are you, Richie? Tell us why you're upset.
I'm pretty hot and bothered right now, man, and a lot of it has to do with this right here, this guy.
Mr. Notorious.
Unfortunately, UFC 303 was supposed to have a press conference yesterday, and we now know that didn't take place, that it was canceled. It was canceled by UFC and Conor McGregor. For unknown reasons at this time, it's looking like they're pulling the plug on UFC 303 as a whole. Conor McGregor hasn't said anything except for a bullshit statement that we just read before we got on. And unfortunately, I don't think the fight's happening now. They pulled off the content of his on ESPN Plus, and they've suspended the pre-orders on ESPN Plus for UFC 303 as well. So I don't know, man. I'm grateful I didn't spend the money on the tickets and stuff like that, but it's looking pretty damning for the return of the notorious one.
You were ready to go out for the show and spend all that money on tickets too.
Yeah, I had friends that spent a lot of money on the tickets, and they were going to go to the show. It's unfortunate. It was the highest gate ever in UFC history, $20 million before the fight even was close to even taking place. We're 3 weeks out now, and it looks like it's going to be put the kibosh on it. So.
Well, I'm sorry it didn't work out. I hope it does come through, and they can make a miracle happen for you.
The fight gods have just been pissing me off lately, man. We lose Tyson and Jake Paul. We're getting Roy Jones Jr. versus Jake Paul, or Logan Paul versus Jake Paul. Compared to Tyson versus Jake Paul. So it's just one thing after another, man.
Well, it's going to get better tonight because we're going to have a good time tonight. We're going to be talking about the greatest Intercontinental Champions of all time. Let me get to some of the comments here. Just throwing this out there. Kurt Hennig's run in 90 to 91, putting over Bret Hart in the Garden in 91 at SummerSlam is pure gold. Bret's reign from August to January is also of note. Absolutely, Jeff. My original partner on Wrestling with Reality, Mr. Jeff Maxson, just talked last night. He's going to actually be coming up to New York and staying with me for a week and a half in August. So great to see him. And Michaels did have a great run. Jeremy said it's showtime, folks. Rand Gold Dust Savage. Guys, save all your picks for later when we get to that portion of the show. Daniel says, welcome to the Tuesday night show. Since Vince and Lord Alfred did Tuesday Night Titans, I know the Road Dogs got to be high on the list. Greetings from Lawrence in Brisbane, Australia. I'm going to save all these picks that you guys got for later. Jeremy says, before we get started for breaking news, it's been reported that WWE officials have promised Chad Gable the Intercontinental title if he will re-sign his contract. All right.
Jordy G.
Rand says good night from Canada. Charlottetown, Prince Edward Island. The mood is about to change. Lorant says go Shamrock. And look who is here already.
Oh boy.
Rewind is back.
Rewind is in the house.
Dude, Rewind's a legend on this show now. Rewind is a legend, I would say.
Remember when Taz? We got to get a T-shirt made.
Rewind gets
Yeah, thanks, Rewind. I know.
He loves to fucking rub it into you right now. He's rubbing it in. I think Connor doesn't really want to fight anymore. He's just milking as much money as he can. Very well could be.
Fair enough.
Remember that it is D-Day, so respect all the war vets. Yeah, I completely forgot it was D-Day today. Is it?
Yeah. Yep, it is.
Oh man, crazy. Whew. Jason, what's going on, my friend? Great to see you out again. Wonderful to see you, and wonderful to see everybody. We're gonna have a really good time tonight. We're gonna be talking all about the greatest Intercontinental Champions of all time. We could go on and on about it. There's so many great ones. And then tomorrow night's show is going to be a lot of fun, Richie. We're going to focus on one of the greatest champs of all time. Yeah, it's going to be the greatest Taz matches on the Sunday show for the radio. Absolutely. So no, all kidding aside, we're going to be doing for the Sunday show, it's going to be Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. It's going to be focused on him. And it's going to be focused on his great Intercontinental title win against Macho Man. And then a real sleeper pick for one of my favorite matches of his. I haven't seen it in ages, but it was always a great one. Was him versus Stunning Steve Austin at Bash of the Beach '94. So
never seen it, man. Looking forward to that.
Oh, you like it, man? It's a good match. So we're gonna be checking it out for the Sunday show. As this airs on Saturday on the radio. So if you're listening to this on Saturday, welcome out. And if you're not joining us on Tuesday, you need to come out and join us live as we tape one of these episodes live every Tuesday. And our Tuesday crowd is a rowdy bunch of great guys. So. Yep. We're going to have a lot of fun. But let's talk modern wrestling first, just for a few minutes here. TNA and WWE have seemed to create a partnership. What do you think about this?
I like it. I think it's going to help TNA grow a little bit. I think that they'll get some exposure. They've done it with Jordan Grace there, and it's worked out pretty well for her. And, I like the idea, man. And eventually, even if AEW and stuff wants to open the door and they do it, I mean, I'm not hating on it, man. You got to start shaking things up, and obviously, Rewind.
I couldn't resist.
I got reset here. Obviously, thanks a lot, John.
You're welcome.
Obviously, the wrestling business needs a shakeup right now, and what Triple H has been doing has worked so far. So I welcome it, man. I want to see what kind of changes they bring up.
It's going to be interesting. And I from what they're saying in the dirt sheets and stuff, so take it for what, it's worth on that stuff, is that, there's going to be people coming.
This guy.
He's the best, this Rewind guy. He's the best. But, there's going to be WWE and NXT talent they're going to send over to Impact or TNA and work with them too. Maybe as early as I think this week they were saying it. I guess they got a pay-per-view coming on. So... Dude, this guy pops us every time. This guy's awesome. We get some great.
Yeah, we got to get a T-shirt made. Remember when Taz?
Rewind is now in charge of the Hot Pocket inventory.
There you go.
Taz could be the next closest thing to the GOAT, but Dirty Dom is winning hands down.
Absolutely.
Derek, I'll get back to your picks here in just a minute, my friend. Great to see you, Derek, as well. Todd Phillips is Ultimate Warrior, epic T-shirts, greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time. Hey, great pick, Todd, and with the great fans that watch this show, Epic Shirts is a great supporter of the show. And if you want to check out their shirts, please go right on over to epicshirts.ca, enter code RW Revival, and you get 10% off. They got wrestling stuff. They got everything, man. great guys over there, and we're totally in support of what they're doing. So check them out.
Yeah.
Sure. Thanks for throwing that out there, Todd. And yeah, let's get back to the TNA stuff. Do you think this can elevate TNA in any way? Maybe elevate their star power a little bit over there. Maybe bring more eyeballs to them.
It depends on who they send over and who they're willing to let go over there and risk injury on a show like TNA. I mean, if you're sending over NXT guys, it's not really doing much for them. But if you're sending over your main event guys and stuff, I think it will give them a rub a little bit. It all depends on what WWE is willing to do. Then again, it could give some exposure to a lot of the guys in NXT as well, or more experience, I should say, by getting more matches and stuff like that. And, let's be honest, there's a huge roster over there on both sides of it. So there's enough TV time to spread around now that gets everybody exposed.
Yeah, it's a good thing, and I think it's going to be a good thing for both of them involved. It's going to be a great way to send over some of that NXT talent to get some more experience. It's going to be good to get the, Impact people, I keep calling it Impact TNA, the TNA people a rub over on NXT too, because NXT, it's getting probably 600-700.
Isn't Dolph Ziggler over in TNA right now?
He is in TNA right now. Yeah, he's in TNA right now. Daniel says, I saw Jordan Grace talking backstage, and good Lord, the most stagnant voice you've ever heard. Great look, everything else great, in-ring worker to me, but 100%, Daniel. She's got no personality and charisma to me. That's my opinion.
I wonder if she's taking some sort of steroids or something, man.
She's like a bodybuilder, and
her body was a lot different back in the day, and then all of a sudden she just blew
I don't
up
think
like
she's taking steroids or anything. I think she's just a hardcore bodybuilder. She's eats raw meat and stuff to ingest more protein. Yeah. Shawn Michaels apparently asked her about it. She had said on I saw a tweet or something, that he had said Shawn had asked. Actually, it was the first thing Shawn asked her if she really does that every day. And she said, no, it's kind of a joke, but I do eat raw meat and stuff. Disgusting to me. I couldn't do it. But I don't know. I really don't know a ton of people in Impact anymore. I don't follow it. So I just really can't comment too much on a lot of the stars there. But as Laurent says, and we were just talking about, I think it's going to be really interesting to see where it goes. Yeah. Who knows?
Jeremy could add a twist on it, man.
I like Jeremy's idea here.
Hey,
AJ Styles showing up
Jeremy
in TNA.
Coming in, man, at the clutch. Look at that. That's a great idea.
AJ was Mr. TNA. Forever.
That's the house that AJ Styles really built.
Damn right. And what a fitting end on the last little bit of his career for him to get maybe one more match or a few more matches over there and helping them out. And I'm telling you right now, if that happened and they were able to advertise and get something with that, I think they would sell some pay-per-views that they normally
I'm just
wouldn't.
not looking forward to if TNA defends a title against a WWE superstar or whatever. You start to get in a situation like AEW where there's a belt for everybody, and I don't want that to happen to where it gets watered down.
Yeah, I'm with you. Jason says Triple H is WWE on fire now. Just amazing storylines.
Yeah.
He's doing great.
Yeah, Jason, you're right.
He really is. Lorenz said with all these wrestling partnerships, wish there was more impactful ones like the ECW invasion of WWF, the USWA versus ECW feud, USWA versus Smoky Mountain, etc.
You got to be smart with it and actually have storylines. You can't just have people featured on there.
And you can't keep doing it week after week. I think you do it in intermittent, points throughout the year, where you want to maybe boost up a little bit what's going on in both places, and you want to, get a little interest, and you could do some stuff. I wouldn't do it every week though. That's just me.
Right.
I agree. That's just for me. Daniel says, I think the TNA roster is too weak. It'll be a good shine, but it's not strong at all. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Great workers, I'm sure, but definitely haven't got a lot of attention.
Time for the Hardys to come in, I'm telling you, because either way they go, WWE or TNA, it's going to make an impact for sure.
Yeah. WWE and NXT versus TNA, prohibited or pay-per-view. Yes, I like that. Instead of forbidden, let's do prohibited. Right. AJ Styles returned to TNA to win their belt, and then as a match with Cody at Royal Rumble. Could be interesting.
Oof.
Could be interesting. They're doing good work together, though, AJ and Cody. Did you see that segment from SmackDown this week where AJ pulled the Mark Henry, I'm retiring thing and then turned on him?
I did see that.
I loved it. I thought it was great.
Yeah.
Let's see. I think NXT guys are more suited for the X Division style of NXT with some good NXT versus X Division matches. Definitely would be fun, right? The WWE did the same thing in the 90s with ECW. They had few ECW wrestlers come over. One of them was the GOAT Taz on Raw. You do make a valid point there, Rewind.
Absolutely. That was a good time.
Yep. You do make a very good point. Yeah. She says AJ was the Sting of TNA.
Yeah, he was.
If they really want to make Jordan Grace the biggest deal, bring Rhea Ripley over for a big pay-per-view. When she gets healthy, that would be a great matchup because Jordan's that big, imposing looking character.
Yeah.
So,
well, they both are. I mean, they're both pretty jacked,
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be interesting. I like this that they're doing it, and I think it's a win-win for both people. I think it's more of a win-win for TNA, but
Oh,
um,
absolutely. They're getting the better end of the deal.
yeah,
Um, I don't really see the upside for WWE on this deal. I mean, does anyone else think of an upside on what it could do for them
it's
other
not
than
like they're
giving
going
them
to
more
draw in more
exposure?
people, you know.
No, I mean, it gives you more time to feature less popular wrestlers, I guess, get them exposure. But I don't know, man. I don't know what the WWE's upside this
You
is.
know what I look at this as, and I know and hear you guys' opinion on it. Just kind of came to my mind as we're talking about this. I know they have NXT as a developmental territory. TNA would be a great, feeder system and developmental territory for a lot of their people as well to get a little bit more exposure on a different brand, work with some different people. It could
Here's
be
a
a really
thought:
good.
Does WWE buy TNA?
They could within, like that. TNA's worthless, basically. I don't think they could get what they
But their
want out of it.
library's not. It's the same kind of idea. Their library's pretty valuable.
I think WWE actually owns rights to their library already.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I believe they might quote me if I'm wrong
Wow.
on this in the audience. I might be wrong on this, but I'm pretty sure they bought rights to their library years ago.
Holy cow.
I think it was around the time that AJ came in. I'm not
That's,
sure if that holds true for their modern content, but I think some of it stemmed back from things in the past that they might want to use. So
that's interesting.
could be wrong, but I think it could be a great developmental territory, just an additional place where people could go work. And it would definitely not hurt the talent, especially the younger ones up and coming, to get to go work with some of the great talent over there too. So
Yeah,
that's my opinion. I'm sticking to
absolutely.
it.
Yeah, for sure.
Rand says AJ Styles will be doing like the October event. Matt's Hardy's is at TNA. Yep. His
Okay.
brother Jeff, his
Cool, yeah.
contract is running out right now too. So there's a lot of speculation Jeff might go there. We'll
Yeah,
see.
he'll be going there for sure.
Heard the Motor City Machine Guns are going to appear in WWE. I heard that they're going to appear and that they signed a contract or are going to sign a contract with AEW. I've seen those rumors pop up too. So either way, it'd be interesting to see them. They're a great tag team from what I've seen of them. What do you think about them?
I've watched them since the come up of the Motor City Machine Guns, and I've always enjoyed them. I never really understood why Alex Shelley didn't get a better rub in NXT and stuff like that. He came over for a hot minute, didn't he?
Yeah, he did a little bit of work. I think he did it with Kushida.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I remember correctly. I'm not a big NXT guy, but yeah, I think he did some stuff over in NXT as well and was working with the talent as like a guest trainer or some type of like part-time trainer, for a period of time. I like this matchup here, Jade Cargill and Jordan Grace. That would be a fun one to watch, I think. The battle of the badasses, for their respective brands. So that could be interesting.
Yeah, for sure. I like that idea.
Well, Rand, actually, Anthem owns TNA, so it's Anthem it's Anthem that owns them. But it's been said for years that Anthem really wants to get away from it and just really haven't had great suitors for it, probably for what they've invested in it. So
if WWE wanted to buy them tomorrow, they could. There's no doubt about it.
10 seconds, absolutely, it would be chump change to TKO. It would be nothing. Rewind says the WWE is doing this to get more eyes on them before they buy them out and get their video. Good point. Good point right there. Good point. Let's go to another topic, though. Oops, really quick. If they strike a deal and we get TNA Archives pay-per-view and Impact shows on Peacock, that would be fun.
That would be amazing.
I wonder what's going to happen with their content library when they go over to Netflix and their Peacock deal eventually runs out, because I think it runs out in 2026. And I've heard rumblings, too, that they might not bring that content over with them to Netflix.
I heard it's going to stay on Peacock, and just the live shows are going over to Netflix.
Yeah, I really hope so.
Yeah, because that'll kill a lot of our content if they do that. I mean, if they ever get rid of the library like that, it'll be detrimental to a lot of, because a lot of wrestling fans out there just like popping on some classic stuff. So I'd be pretty pissed.
A lot of fans would be really salty at that.
We've been so spoiled with having that library that.
It was like, I remember when it launched and stuff, and we had that opportunity, and it was awesome to be able to go back and watch all this old content that you hadn't seen in years. You just a couple clicks at your fingertips, and there you go. You got anything you really want to watch that's ever been in the history books.
I'm gonna be honest though, like the WWE network, the original network, was amazing.
I loved it.
Peacock, I don't think is as user friendly as the WWE network was. You could literally watch in sequential order, episodes and stuff like that over and over and over again and follow the storylines from back then. And it was a lot easier to navigate, I feel like. So I miss the WWE network.
TKO would buy TNA with Monopoly money.
Probably.
Tony Khan buys it. I'm sure Tony would want to buy it if he could, just be another feather in his cap. So
for sure.
There's an actual TNA channel, Roku TV, that plays Old Impact and pay-per-view. Yeah, I've seen it a few times, Jeremy. They have it on a lot of cable outlets too.
Pluto's on.
Pluto. Yep. And there's a few other, I think YouTube TV has something with it too. There's like a channel devoted to it on there.
I think they have their own network too, TNA does. Or at least I used to be.
They have their own streaming platform.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have their own streaming platform too. So, I mean, they're trying. You got to give them credit. They're doing the best that they can on it. So,
yeah.
What's going on, Jude? It's okay. We just started, man.
Jude,
You're not too late to the party. Don't worry about that at all. We got plenty of time to go. All right, let's move on away from TNA and let's move to Vince McMahon. The saga continues.
Dude, isn't this a shit show with that? Like, oh my God.
We talked about it, a few months back when everything broke. Is like, let's wait and see what happens.
That was the most important thing, was let's wait and see the evidence.
Yeah.
This guy has lost his whole legacy, his whole career. He's lost his company, and it may all be for nothing. We may have lost the McMahon legacy over nothing. Straight up.
He's got more fucking lives than a cat.
It looks more oh my God, by the day it looks more damning for that case just falling apart, dude. I mean, it's bad.
I'm seeing with it is that could potentially happen is with this girl is she might not even get anything out of this deal, to be honest with you.
Matter of fact, she may have to pay the court fees and stuff like that.
Who knows? It's
so all that money that she did get in the beginning might be gone.
I mean, he's not denying that he had a relationship with her, but his principal argument in effect has been that it was consensual and these were things that she asked for and wanted. And people, and
he probably has the proof to say it.
He does have the proof to say it from the court records and what they've talked about on there. Now, they haven't released it yet or anything like that, but I'm sure it'll come out in a period of time. And they've said, that there's messages.
This man's no dummy, man.
He didn't become a billionaire for no friggin' reason, right?
No. And he's gonna have, even if it wasn't consensual and stuff like that, he's gonna have the money to make it look that way.
This guy, like, literally, like I said, he has more fucking lives than a cat. Like, he has beaten the odds in everything he's ever done in his career. I'm not saying he's not a pile of crap of a human being, for some of the things that he's done or maybe how he is. I have no idea. Just from what we know, I don't know the guy. What a lot of people say about him doesn't sound like the most wonderful individual for the most part, but irregardless of that, this guy has had everybody that's tried to get rid of him, everybody that's tried to imprison him, everybody that's tried to send him anywhere but, on mainstream television, and he always beats them.
Yep.
He's not a dummy, bro. What do you see going on or happening with this?
From what I've seen, man, it looks like the case is falling apart before it even really gets started. And this lady, I said from the get-go, I was like, we got to listen to all the evidence before we make our judgment call. And it looks like it was exactly what we called it. We basically said that this was a money grab for her.
Yeah.
And it looks like that's what it was, unfortunately. And I don't think that women should be treated the way she was. That's not my thing. But if she was asking for it and, liked being treated that way and wanted it, and it's proven in court, what more can you say about it?
Because there are people that get into fetishes and things like that enjoy that type of crazy stuff. I'm not into it. You're not into it. I don't think, you're not into any of those things.
And I take the approach that Jude does too. Like Vince McMahon in this stage of his life, let's be honest, he's not living 20, 30 more years,
He's got FU money,
That's why FU money. Yeah.
That's why he really
dumped all his stock. So he's really got FU money now.
He seriously does. Come on. I mean, the guy, it doesn't matter to him. Can we get Lesnar back? I think Lesnar will come back shortly, Daniel.
Oh, they've already said he's already on their roster on the website. So I mean,
I think he's coming back in a short period of time. There's a lot that they can
we'll
still
get the Gunther versus Lesnar match this year. I really believe that.
It would be a fun match too. That was supposed to happen at Mania this year. I was really excited to potentially see that. So I hope it, that he does get another run because there's been nothing proven about him either. No. You can't.
I'm sorry, but looking at videos that somebody sent you, and if she sent those videos, that's sex trafficking.
Derek is joking here, but he's got a really good perspective here. I know he's joking. He says Vince buys TNA. Could happen. It could happen.
Gives you the goosies, doesn't it?
it very well could happen. We were joking around a couple months ago, and was like he should join up with Tony Khan over in AEW and really stick it to him.
What if he did?
What if he did?
Both of them together have the money to literally just make that war go forever. I mean,
bro, it would be the biggest ratings in the history of AEW.
well, and then the people who have loyalty to Vince McMahon, do they jump ship over there and help out? The Undertaker, all these people, Brock Lesnar, John Cena.
Never say never.
Could be WCW all over again. All the old guys go over. It's
never say never. You never know what can happen. Vince McMahon's story would be a great movie. I heard they were supposed to do a movie about him, Rand, and it ended up falling through. I guess maybe he probably didn't want to, probably go along with it. And I think he wanted maybe like executive producer.
No, you make Taz the champ because Taz is the GOAT.
He is the GOAT. Rewind. He'll tell you. He says Ray McMahon's a hustler. That is 100%. Don't kink shame.
Dude.
The thing is also in this day and age, it doesn't matter if he is innocent or guilty. People look at as guilty just because of who he is. I'd be careful because he could easily bring names into this and bring the house down.
Well, what's upsetting is if this is proven to be false and he really didn't do what she's saying, then it ruined a lot for the wrestling community. We always wanted the send off of Vince McMahon. We never got it now.
I know you're joking here, Lawrence. He says Vince McMahon hires Russo and Ferrara to book for his new promotion.
Oh,
Bro, let's have a Judy Bagwell on a forklift match reincarnation.
Yeah. That'll John Wangland on a pole match.
Yeah, put John on a pole. You got to fight for me. Come on, let's do it.
Yeah.
I don't think that would happen with TNA and a WWE. That would happen with TNA and a WWE partnership right now. No, I agree with you on that, Jude. I'm just saying it would be interesting to see if down the road, he did buy it. Who knows? I don't want to see him come back.
One thing that's for sure in the wrestling business is nothing's for sure.
Rand says Tony's never working with Vince. Maybe not, but
dude, hey,
if the money's right
with Eric Bischoff.
Let's say this about Tony Khan. Tony Khan has more money than he'll ever know what to do with it. Him and his father, they're fucking billionaires, all right?
Right.
Irregardless, this is like his, little toy playroom when he's playing with his wrestlers in the ring. This guy loves this stuff. I don't think he legitimately cares about making money.
I don't either.
It's fun for him.
He's paying MJF $15 million a year.
That was the rumor. I can't see that happening.
Do you think that's true?
No, I don't even think it's close to that. I could see maybe 5 a year or 7. No, not.
Wouldn't 15. It be insane if he was paying him $15 million a year? Because you got to understand, football players, they make a stupid amount of money and they own a football team, so they're used to those contracts.
Yeah. I mean, McMahon's dyslexic brain works differently. Don't fuck with dyslexic. We established it last week. He is dyslexic, so we did establish that last week. Brooklyn Brawler for the belt. Dude. What's going on, Todd Fisher? Do you think the great Khali will return soon? Lord, I hope not, Todd.
I hope not. That was a shit stain on the wrestling business.
Oh, no thanks. I hope not, Todd. Russo will find his love.
Punjabi prison match live, though. That was pretty cool.
How bad was that to see live, bro?
It was so bad. I was so happy to see.
Could you even see inside the damn thing?
You a little bit. I mean, you could at certain points.
Was it the Batista or Undertaker one?
No, it was the Undertaker one.
Okay, well at least you got Undertaker.
Yeah,
that was one of the worst gimmicks of all time.
Yeah, it was.
it was awful. Tony also said he would never be an on-screen talent. How'd that work out so far?
Khali's the GOAT, baby.
Khali is the. Here we go. I mean, he did say that he'd never be an on-screen talent, and he's on all the time now. He's loving life.
Rewind should have really got us popping and said Khali was the GOAT from the get-go.
Tony has fuck you money, but I think TKO has a no-compete contract with Vince after they let him go with the fat check. I bet that very well could be. I have no idea, but it could be. Omos is the current Khali. I would definitely. Boy. That guy is terrible. His knees would take 4 weeks to get there after him.
That's pretty funny.
Eric Bischoff buys TNA, where he failed buying WCW. He tries to run it into his former success with WCW.
Yeah, but he already tried that, and it failed miserably.
And he has openly said he owns nothing as part of the day-to-day professional wrestling world in any way, shape, or form on a weekly basis. He loves his life now where he lives, and the guy's making a boat ton of money with Conrad Thompson on their podcast. So he's definitely not hurting at all for anything. I'm sure he's more than happy and content with his life and where it's at now.
Yeah.
I love Bischoff, though, but he's 70 years old. There's no way I could see a guy like that coming back like that full time.
He had his run, man, and he had a great run.
Absolutely. I mean, he beat Vince McMahon. How many people can say that he beat friggin' Vince
The
McMahon?
U.S. government can't even say that.
No, and he did for 83 weeks. So it'd always be a legacy that nobody can ever take away from him. Conrad has Taz boots on his dresser. He probably does rewind. I would believe that because Taz is the goat.
Oh God. He's got Hook's title in a glass case
Oh,
with
Lord.
Hook's fucking hook hand.
Oh, Lord. Hook. Send in Hook. Send him in.
I always think of fucking Peter Pan when I hear that name. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. I think Eric Bischoff does indie appearances on and off outside of his podcast. Yeah, he does. He did a show up here last year. I wanted to go, but I had to work that night. It was like on a Saturday or something, and I got stuck working that weekend. I couldn't go. He was doing a signing. You know, he occasionally appears, so more power to him. Conrad has Taz's singlet in his dresser.
No, that's Rewind. Rewind does Taz's singlet.
Yeah, he's got his jock strap. He's got everything. He's survive if the jock strap lets you.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
That'll really put a Taz mission on you.
Well, we'll get back for any modernized topics you guys want to talk about at the end of the show when we close out there. But let's get into the theme of tonight. The theme of tonight is going to be the greatest Intercontinental Champions of all time. So many people we can list on here. There's just a ton. So this is where I throw it out to everybody. Name your favorite and your greatest list of people for Intercontinental Champions. So I'll lead it off for me. This is in no particular order. I'll give you my number one afterwards, but no particular order on these ones for me. And then I got to throw out first Mr. Perfect. Loved Mr. Perfect. One of the best in-ring workers to me of all time. Just bestseller in the business, and his IC title run was fantastic. It should have springboarded him in my opinion, to a main event, match with Hogan, but they apparently didn't have a lot of chemistry together in the ring, and Hogan really didn't want to work with him at that point. It didn't work for him, brother. But go back and watch some of his stuff. I think it was about 91, maybe like 90 and 91 range with Mr. Perfect. If you guys have never seen it, this guy was awesome. And his work in his match with Bret Hart is still one of my all-time favorite. It's my all-time favorite match to watch. Yeah. So I got to go Mr. Perfect first. What do you got?
One of my favorite times in wrestling was, of course, when DX was going against the Nation of Domination. You had Triple H versus The Rock, and I thought that their rivalry brought such a great time for the Intercontinental title, especially the ladder match and stuff like that they had. I believe it was SummerSlam, if I'm not mistaken. Man, what a great ladder match that was. What a great feud that they had. And it started their legendary feud from there. I mean, it was incredible. So Triple H, man, I got to go with Triple H. He was one of the greatest Intercontinental champions of all time. And, especially during his DX run, that was one of my favorites.
He had a great run. Triple H was just awesome in just about everything that he did. So I can definitely see why you threw him on there. I mean, what has Triple H not done in the wrestling business? What's funny is we never really talk a lot about him on the show, other than what weird? We really don't watch a lot of his matches. We really don't go back. We got to pay a little homage to him here soon.
We do.
I know we talk about
a King of Kings match, or we could do
something like that. I know we talk a lot about him, in the modern stuff and how great his direction is on certain things. But I'm telling you, he's
untapped definitely content for us.
He is. He's got to be top 10 all-time greatest wrestlers too.
Oh. Top 5 easily.
Many people's books, top 5, top 10, no doubt about it for me. Let's see. Jeremy's thrown out top 5 Intercontinental champs, no order. Gunther, Jericho, Razor Ramon, Bret Hart, Jeff Jarrett. Okay, great picks. I'll piggyback on one of them. Razor Ramon, one of the greatest Intercontinental champs of all time. Yep. That match with Shawn Michaels, the ladder match, and then redoing it, the best. Like, one of my favorite matches of all time. Is there anybody as good as, well, let me rephrase that. Is there anybody as cool as Scott Hall was for professional wrestling?
No.
And a phenomenal worker, phenomenal on the mic. He might be one of the greatest overall talents in all capacities of a wrestler: mic skills, personality, and
his mind for it.
Yeah.
And, my thing is too with Scott Hall, like, a lot of people don't give him the credit he deserves with that whole Monday Night War thing. Like, when he came out in that denim outfit on Nitro and stuff like that, like, he was the NWO spark, I get that Hulk Hogan doing the heel turn and stuff was like the big explosion of that whole thing, but Scott Hall sparked it. He started that.
He sure freaking did, man.
And it was his idea to jump ship in the first place. Kevin Nash followed him.
And boy, it paid off for them and everybody else
dude.
that made money for years.
You could probably say Scott Hall is one of probably top 5 smartest men in the wrestling business ever.
Everybody says it. All the people that love the Crow Stink stuff, go check if you want to thank the person that created it, Scott Hall.
Scott Hall.
Yeah, Scott Hall was the one that created it. So
yeah.
Daniel threw out Perfect Gunther, The Rock, and Brett in no particular order, and Ahmed Johnson, the true GOAT. Sleepy Ahmed,
boy.
wake up.
Oh, boy.
What do you got for your next one? Rand's throwing a Piper one. I like Piper too. Short-lived reign, but great, for that couple of months, it was a lot of fun. But what do you got for your next one?
Yeah, I was going to say Piper down the road, but that is a great one and everything like that. But, this is a controversial one. I'm sorry if people get upset that I bring this up, but Chris Benoit, definitely an incredible Intercontinental Champion. His contributions to the wrestling business on the wrestling side, despite the tragedy, that was an exciting time for the Intercontinental title. And, him and Jericho, when they had their back and forth with it, it was a great time. And I think Chris Benoit, one of the best performers of all time, and definitely one of the greatest Intercontinental champs of all time.
Chris Benoit was awesome in everything that he did. We're not advocating for what he did at the end of his life. We're not talking about that. We just look at him as the wrestler here. And, man, great pick with Chris Benoit. I love him. And Lawrence agrees with you. He had Chris Benoit in his. He also had Jericho, Eddie Guerrero was great IC champs. Jude gives an interesting perspective here. He says, I don't even have Gunther in the top 10. Had a long run, yes, but that's about it. Interesting perspective, Jude.
I kind of feel that way too, man. I kind of feel that way too.
I can understand that, because it wasn't the flashiest reign in the world. Was it dominant? Yes. Did he have some amazing matches? Absolutely. But, let's be realistic. Everybody knew it was a feeder belt for him to get him to the next level, of course. And Gunther tears everybody up and is probably, in my opinion, I think he's WWE's best overall worker in the ring. And, yeah, I don't know. That's why I don't throw him as number one. I don't even care about how long he had it for 666 days. I'd throw top 5 maybe.
Such
top
a weird number for them to fucking hang their hat on.
Seriously, they couldn't have waited till the next night on Raw to lose it or something. I'd say top 5 for me. Easily top 10 for me. But I also understand you guys' perspectives on that and why you didn't throw him in there. So I do get that one. I got to go with Lawrence's for my next one and Honky Tonk Man. You a fan of the Honky Tonk Man? He's cool. He's cocky,
not even close. No way.
He had a great run as an IC.
That's fine. He can have the great run, and I will never acknowledge it. He is not my tribal chief.
I like Honky.
I got no love for Honky at all.
He
especially with his goofy ass hairdo now. Jesus,
bro, he's still rocking it out to this day. Can you believe that? Yeah. He was the longest reigning Intercontinental title champ.
Now he's got to have the longest ponytail in WWE history, I guess.
Literally, he's still rocking it out like the old school days. Lord. He was a great heel, though, in his era, and he really played a fantastic part. I think he was the one that beat – you guys tell me if I'm wrong on this. I think he beat Warrior for the belt. I think that's who he beat for the IC strap. I think it was Warrior. Could be wrong, but I think it was Warrior. No, Warrior is the one that beat him in 10 seconds. Excuse me. Pardon me on that. I don't forget who was it then. Who did Honky beat for the Intercontinental title, guys? Help me out here. But he had that long run forever, and then here comes Warrior. 10 seconds, run down to the ring, gorilla press, 1, 2, 3. That was it, and the longest reign at that time, and until Gunther was gone in 10 seconds to the Warrior. So interesting times. Who do you got next, buddy?
So I got another one here that was already mentioned. I think Lawrence mentioned it. A few people mentioned it, but Eddie Guerrero, who could forget that one with Latino Heat? The time that he held the title, he brought a lot of charisma to it. He had a great story with the Hall of Famer Chyna. Who could forget that? When he actually won the title off of her, and he had some great matches. While he was Intercontinental Champion. So Eddie Guerrero for me, one of the greatest of all time, one of the greatest Intercontinental Champions of all time.
How could you ever argue that with Eddie?
Yeah.
Imagine if Eddie was still alive right now, just the knowledge he would give to people.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Man. It's terrible tragedy, of course, to lose somebody so early, and for wrestling fans, there's so much more that Eddie had to him.
Sure.
Brutus the Barber Beefcake was never a champ for the IC title, Rob. I don't ever believe he held the belt, so I don't.
And please don't say he's the GOAT. My God,
No, he's not the GOAT. I don't think. Hopefully not. Somebody doesn't say that shit. I don't think he ever won the belt, though, Rob. I think he had some matches, but I don't think he ever won it. So Derek's throwing in.
No, that was the Booty Man.
the booty man. You know, there's 9 million different gimmicks that Ed Leslie has had, so it's easy to get switched up on one of the many awful gimmicks that he had throughout his career. Derek's top 10 in this order is going to be Jericho, Miz, Perfect, Razor, Gunther, HBK, Brett, Savage, Benoit, Ziggler. All great picks. Couldn't argue with any of them. I'll piggyback off one of them, and that would be the next one I'll talk about. How could you not put Bret the Hitman Hart up there?
Yeah.
How could you not?
I mean, and his brother Owen.
100%. 100%.
And
how long did Owen hold on to the IC title for? It wasn't a really long run, though, was it?
It wasn't a long run, but I think he held it on 2 different occasions.
Yeah, throw it out there, guys, if you guys can look that up really quick. How many did Owen have? I definitely know it's at least 1, maybe 2.
Yeah.
That was a hot potato era, too. So it was a lot of back and forth.
Especially with the IC belt.
Yeah, it definitely could have been. It definitely could have been more than 2, actually, because they just would hot potato all the time. But somebody help me out on that one, and let's see how many he actually did have. But I mean, Bret's run, the IC title was always the springboard to the World Championship for the next level for him. And for Bret, he had that amazing match against Mr. Perfect at SummerSlam '91 that we talked about earlier. And then in just a short period of time, within the next year or so, I mean, here he was holding on to the world title and multiple time world champion, because that's what the Intercontinental title was always designed to be. And unfortunately, they kind of got away from that for many, many years. The IC title became really, really watered down to me for many, many years. And it just sucked. And it was terrible to see, because it was always the belt that brought somebody to the next level. So your next step to be a main eventer was that. So,
Jude, I would argue with you on that one. I would say Roddy Piper and Scott Hall are pretty neck and neck on that one.
And they're both great picks. Yeah. They're both great picks. Lawrence says another favorite of his, Ken Shamrock. Great pick with Ken.
It's a great one.
Jeremy says honorable mention, RVD. Love RVD.
My next one is somebody that hasn't been brought up yet, and I think he deserves a lot of credit what he brought to the IC title. It was another good time. It was right in that transition of Attitude Era to the Ruthless Aggression, and it's Edge, man. Edge was a great Intercontinental Champion. At the time he was really hot and getting the King of the Ring and stuff like that. Like it was a great time for Edge, and he had just transitioned from being that, really positioned him from being a tag team wrestler to a real singles competitor when he had that IC title run. So I think Edge is definitely a great mention on there.
I think it worked out really, really well for him too. And I think he had a pretty good career, wouldn't you say?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Just a little bit, I mean, he's still going now. I know he's hurt right now, but I mean, the guy's still working in the ring. So good pick with Edge. Lawrence has a good one here. Goldust had a great Intercontinental title run when he had his too. A lot of fun. Godfather and Val Venus did all right Val
Venus did good. Yeah, I would agree with that.
He had a decent run for a while, right?
Yeah, he did. Who could forget the transition from the Apex, into the Apex Predator, Randy Orton, when he was in Evolution, and he was that was basically symbolism that he was going to be the next guy. It was when he got the Intercontinental title during that time. Randy Orton did a phenomenal job as the IC champ.
Clinton Jackson says the Ultimate Warrior. Clinton, I can't hate on that either, because let's be realistic. One of the biggest WrestleMania main events of all time was WrestleMania 6. IC champ against the world champ, Ultimate Warrior, Hulk Hogan. I mean, and it definitely springboarded him into the next level too. And he had a legendary career, no matter if his in-ring work sucked, if he was
do we mention Pat Patterson on this list?
No, we haven't got on it to it yet. I was going to hit him up later on, but I was going to hit him later on. But that's a good, segue into second. We'll go to Pat right after that. But I can't hate on the Warrior. He did fine as an IC champ. So what about Pat Patterson? I was gonna hit on him later. I've never really seen his matches. I'm not gonna lie.
I've never seen him either. That's why I was,
Was he the inaugural?
He was the original one. He was the original.
Yeah, he was the original Intercontinental title.
Belt.
Oh, dude, awful. Awful shit at that point in time. I don't know any of his in-ring work. I can't say I do. I never watched it. It was way before my time frame. I've never seen him. I don't think I've ever seen a match of his, unless he was doing the Stooges and him and Briscoe helping Mr. McMahon out in a match or something. I've never seen any of his prime work. So if any of you guys are fans of his in-ring work or have seen that, I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. But
yeah, for sure.
I don't really know much, but I know he had a hell of a run and one of the greatest minds in the history of professional wrestling. Most people say too.
Yeah.
Give me another one. What do you got for another one?
I give a lot of shit to this guy, but for the time that he held it, he definitely did an amazing job with it. I gotta give respect where respect's due, and you know, this was at a time that the Intercontinental Championship had lost its luster, and I gotta go with the Miz, man. The Miz.
You did it.
Now, I'm just saying, I've watched some of this stuff recently with where during that time frame when he was doing that, and he did have a great Intercontinental Champion run, and he brought a lot of prestige back to that belt.
I'm a huge fan of the Miz, as you know. You hate him. I'm a huge fan of him. He brought so much prestige back to the belt when it was just failing fast. It was a garbage belt really when he got it, and the dude was main eventing so many times on the Raws, the SmackDowns, pay-per-view cards. He was just such a prominent figure on, and he made it relevant again. And there's no denying. I think he's held the belt maybe 8 or 9 times, something like that. Guy, surefire Hall of Famer, no doubt about it. I mean, I think he's a Grand Slam champion 2 times over or something. They say. So,
which is crazy to say about the Miz. I mean, nobody gave him a chance in hell when he first started of getting those type of achievements. So.
Yeah, Daniel says Christian was another one who did his thing as a champ. It even brought in the cut hair and how could you forget Father? He's the father of the year. I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying to get to all your comments, but I just can't because there's so many of them. So I'm just trying to scroll through, and I love it. Keep them coming. I'm doing the best that I can to keep up with it. It's a lot harder than you think to transition it. So if I miss some, I apologize. Let's see. Honorable mention: Stone Cold, great one for Stone Cold. The Rock, great starts to their career. Yep. 100%.
That's usually what the IC title was for, was to kind of project you on to the next level of your career. And unfortunately, the IC title again is kind of stagnant.
Good point. I agree with you on that. I'm not a Sami Zayn guy. Never have been. I mean, I'm glad for his moment. He's a good worker. Jeremy said to me last night, he goes, he looks like a hobo. And yeah, I would agree.
I don't see it. I don't see it.
It's hard. It's definitely hard to see. Daniel's good point here. The IC title became you're lucky to even get a Mania match for a few years.
Another honorable mention would be Kevin Owens.
Great pick. I didn't even think about him.
Yeah, Kevin Owens.
Great pick with KO.
Great IC runs.
I loved Kerry Von Erich. I'm a huge mark, Jeremy. I'm a huge mark for them. Imagine if we would have got Kerry at a better place in his life. He just lost his foot, struggling, with drugs and alcohol and just all of his demons and all the great, crazy stuff that we've seen chronicled through the years on him. What could have been from Kerry Von Erich in WWF if he would have been healthy and, been a prime Kerry Von Erich? I think I could have seen him as a world champion over there if he would have been in a better headspace and, in a better physical space too, because
absolutely.
Yeah. I love Kerry Von Erich. Let's see. Better IC title match: Savage Steamboat, Brett Perfect, Brett Piper, Brett Bulldog, Razor HBK. I'll go with this: Savage Steamboat.
Ooh, this is a hard one, man.
It's very hard. No. Hold on. I just read it again. Brett Perfect. Perfect, Savage Steamboat 2. This is the order I'll go in for this. Reading it, I just missed the Brett Perfect because it's my favorite. It is my favorite. Like I said earlier, my favorite match of all time. Brett Perfect for me would be the best one. Savage Steamboat would be 2. I'm going with Brett Piper. Razor HBK 3. Brett Piper then, and then Brett versus Bulldog last.
Well, I'll tell you what, man. The fact that Brett's mentioned in all those, that just gives you an idea how great of an IC champ he was. Yep. Too. In this order for me, I would probably go Brett Piper, Brett Perfect. Oh, I can't see him now.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on, let me go back to that.
You're fine. Okay, so actually, I got to change it. It's Razor HBK, Brett Perfect, Brett Piper, Brett Bulldog, and then Savage Steamboat.
Good picks.
Yeah,
good picks there. They're all great matches. That's the hard part about it.
I'm never a big fan of Steamboat, man. That's why I can't. That's why it's so low on my list. I was never.
You just never watched him.
I watched him. Great worker and stuff. Just never got into the gimmick. I thought it was cheesy as shit.
Interesting. But he is the ultimate white meat babyface. Never turned heel. Never could have got over as a heel. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat is one of my favorite all-time wrestlers. I'll say that, and is one of the greatest baby faces of all time. He's top 3 greatest baby faces of all time. The guy, nobody would ever want to boo the Dragon. Yeah. Nobody at all.
I didn't want to boo him. He wasn't one of my favorites.
Yeah. Rewind says Bret Hart said the IC title was the workhorse. Absolutely.
It's
absolutely.
And for a good while, the European title was that too.
Triple Threat Wrestling Podcast. What's going on, Triple Threat Wrestling Podcast? Nice to see you on the stream. Hopefully you guys are doing great. Not in order, Mr. Perfect, Gunther, Macho Man, Pat Patterson, Ricky Steamboat, Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, Pedro Morales, another great name from the past. I've never seen his stuff either, so I can't comment on his work, but very, very, legendary wrestler people have talked about many times. Cody did have a good run, Rand. Tito Santana, great pick, Jude.
Tito Santana.
Arriba!
Get that one. Arriba.
Arriba! Tito was a great IC champ. 100%.
Yeah, sure.
Good pick. Give me another one you got.
Somebody mentioned it earlier. I don't know if this was the best run, obviously, because of what happened to his neck and everything like that. But Stone Cold Steve Austin, during this time, it kind of projectiled him into the next level too. When he got his neck broken, you had that great story with Owen Hart and stuff like that. So I think it was really important for his career too, the IC title.
What about this guy, Richie? JBL, the wrestling god.
JBL, was he an Intercontinental champ?
I believe he was. Yep. I believe he's a Grand Slam winner too.
JBL was an Intercontinental champ, huh? I thought he was a U.S. champ.
He was a U.S. champ, but I believe he was an IC champ too. Let me double check his Wikipedia here really fast.
Yeah.
Let me go read off the wrestling god's accomplishments. Let's see. Just to double check it.
We're going into overtime tonight, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We're going into overtime. Let's go down to his belts. Let me see. All right, let's get to it. Let's see. This was the WWF, WWE. These are all the belts that JBL held. WWF Championship, he held at one time. Intercontinental Champion, he held at one time. U.S. What was that?
Lawrence was right.
He was. U.S. Championship one time. He's a 17-time hardcore champion. He's a one-time European champion. WWF Tag Championships 3 times with Farouk. Yeah, he's done it all too.
What about R-Truth?
Oh, R-Truth is. Did he ever hold the
Zack Ryder? Zack Ryder? Woo, woo, woo.
I love Zach, but his run was. They should have done more.
Dude, that moment though with his dad, that was a great moment.
It's one of the loudest pops ever that I've ever heard. When Miz is just standing up there like the chicken shit heel that he is, gloating that he's up and nobody's there, and out of nowhere, Zack Ryder comes and dumps him off.
I've got 2 that haven't been mentioned that I just had pop in my head, man.
Go for it.
I mean, who could forget Daniel Bryan's legendary run with the IC title?
Okay.
But even more so, Kurt Angle.
Okay.
Kurt Angle when he was the Euro Intercontinental title.
Was it the Euro Continental? Is that what he did?
Yeah, he had both. Remember?
That was during the Ruthless Aggression era, so
no, it was 90 or no, it was 99 or 2000.
Was it 99?
Yeah, 99 or 2000 you got it.
God, I don't remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember that. Jeremy says, yeah, he dropped it to Ray in his last match.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. I'm just trying to get a few. Owen Hart story is great. Remember Owen, the t-shirt Owen made 316 was great. Yep. My order for the best IC championships, which is hard for me because there's so many good ones I like. Man, Bret Hart, number 1, Mr. Perfect, Scott Hall, Jeff Jarrett, Rowdy Piper. Mountie.
You know, I got to be honest with you guys. I thought HBK would be mentioned a lot more in a lot of your lists, so I'm very surprised. I mean, you all have great lists. I'm very surprised HBK wasn't.
He had great matches, and as a nice, to win it, it was that next point to elevate him. He really got over mainstream, of course, when he won the world championship. He had good runs, but he was still finding himself as a singles competitor at this point, which is why I think a lot of people kind of sleep on some of the stuff that he did at that point, because we don't really think of HBK as the Intercontinental champ. I think he held it 2 or 3 times maybe, but I think that's why it overshadows it a lot because of the legendary career that he's had in other ways. China was champ, Jude. Good point.
China was champ, yep.
Rewind says Taz was the greatest hardcore champion. Debate me on it.
Oh, boy.
Jeff Hardy as the IC champ. Yeah, he had a good run.
Yeah, he did. He did. It was short. It was very short, but he had a good one.
Yeah, he had a really good run. Any more you want to throw on there? And I'll go with tomorrow's Ricky the Dragon Steamboat once again. It's got to be up there. Macho Man.
Great badass run. Billy Gunn.
How long did he hold it for?
Not very long, but it was good.
Okay, I don't remember
much. Road Dogg got it. I think X-Pac was the only one to not get it.
Interesting. I thought X-Pac would have maybe held it at one point.
Right? He went for it a few times, but he never got it.
Macho was great with it, of course. Was good. Macho was awesome with it, of course. And Steamboat, as I mentioned earlier, I'm trying to find some other good ones here because there's so many that we could just go down the list on.
Yeah.
I would have loved to have seen Rick Martel win the belt.
Curtis
Jeremy.
Axel.
Axelmania. Somebody mentioned it earlier. Axelmania.
Yeah.
Axelmania, baby.
Yep.
Rikishi. I don't remember Rikishi holding it.
Rikishi did have it. He did.
Okay. I don't remember that one.
Yeah.
Laurent says HBK was a great IC champ, but better world, not as memorable with exceptions like his stuff with Razor.
Yeah.
I think X-Pac held the title, Rewind says. So
Hmm.
he was the cruiserweight champ, I believe, Rewind, not the TV champ, but maybe I'm wrong on that. That he might maybe
Yeah,
he
he was
hold
the
the
cruiserweight champ.
It was
Yeah.
just the cruiserweight, I think, Rewind.
Yeah.
So somebody check on X-Pac if he ever did hold the belt. Maybe he did. I don't know.
Yeah.
I would think probably everybody in DX held it at some point. And once again, that was a hot potato era.
Did Kane ever hold it?
I don't think so. No.
No, I don't think so either. It's
Yeah.
kind of weird, Kane's titles that he had.
Yeah, I don't think he ever did either. Macho is the cream that rises to the top. You got
Test,
that right.
Test was a great Intercontinental champ.
Test, all right, interesting. Bobby Lashley, Jeremy throws out there. Okay.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Jude says Kane did hold it.
Wow.
All right. See, you learn
Really
something
cool.
new all the time.
Really cool.
Just imagine the list of people that we just named as great champions. Even though it was a 2-day run, I believe it was, let's see, who mentioned it up here a little while ago. Let's see. Rand says it. Even though it was just a few days, the Mountie. I love the Mountie. He should have had a much longer run with it. The Mountie always gets his man, Richie.
Big Boss Man should have got it, I feel like.
He never got a title over there in any way. He never got a
He
tag
got the
title.
hardcore. He got the tag team title with Ken Shamrock.
Did he?
Yep.
Okay, maybe I'm just
They
thinking
had,
of
they
his
had the
early-
IC title on Shamrock, and then the tag team title, and then Bossman had the hardcore title and the tag team title.
Okay. Seth and Finn. Rand says X-Pac never held the title. It was The Rock that won it then. Okay.
Yep. Mick
Steven
Foley never
Richards.
got the IC
Did he hold
title
it, Steven
either.
Richards, for Right to Censor? Yeah, I think he did
Steven
actually.
Richards had it?
I don't think Mick ever got.
Wow.
Maybe when he was doing the Right to Censor time.
That's interesting.
So, all right. Well, everybody stay by with us on the live stream right now. Just hold on for 1 second. We're going to shut this down now for everybody listening on WDJY. So once again, we go a little bit extra every week. Come out and join us on our Facebook and YouTube page, Retro Wrestling Revival. And come out and join us on the live streams for everybody that's listening to us on radio on Saturday. So you really got to come out. We have a great group of guys and that come out, and we just have a blast talking wrestling every Tuesday. So want to really implore all the radio listeners out there to come on and check out the show. We would greatly appreciate it. And have no fear, we'll be back tomorrow night, Sunday night. Every week, Saturdays and Sundays, we're here from 9 to 10. And if you're in the Denver and the San Francisco area, we have multiple episodes that air in those respective markets as well. So lots of great content always here on the Retro Wrestling Revival. So for the radio listeners, we're signing off. We'll see you guys again tomorrow. Thanks so much and have a good night. All right, now let's go into overtime.
Yep.
Let's hit
This
it,
is
folks.
what these guys want to talk about this time.
What do you want to talk about, guys? Throw
Turning
anything.
it over to you.
We're turning it right over to you, and I will throw this out on the private chat. If you want to voice your opinion, you're more than welcome right now, and you can pop on the stream with us if you want.
Come on, Rewind. Take that challenge, baby.
Somebody here. I'm throwing the link out for StreamYard. If you want to come on and talk about any topic you want right now, copy paste that link. It's there right for you. I'll let you in when you come on. So
Dude, how
if you
do
don't
forget Alberto Del Rio? I literally have my pay-per-view chair right here, and I'm like, oh shit, I forgot about him.
Alberto Del Rio. We need his announcer to come back and give us
Right.
a proper introduction. But there it is, folks. If you guys want to have anything you want to talk about wrestling wise, come right on and join us on the stream. There's the link. Copy paste it and just it'll let you in. So if you don't want to, we get it. Some people don't want to be on the air. So whatever you want. But let's see what you want to talk about. Ryback. I can't stand Ryback, Jude. Can you, Richie?
From what I hear, he's retired now because of the CM Punk thing. So if
But
CM
he wasn't
Punk
being
isn't done in
serious.
6 months, I'm retiring. No, I
Yeah.
know, but he should be.
He wasn't being serious though.
Best
You
best
ever watched in
IC
person?
title match in person. Huh. Mine would be John Cena versus Carlito. Or I'm sorry, not John Cena versus Carlito. AJ Styles. Damn, who did I watch? There's a few IC title matches I saw in person. Let me come back to that one.
I
I gotta think about that.
In person, I can't remember right offhand when I saw that really like blew it away for me that I saw in person. That's a hard one, Derek. That's a really hard
Yeah,
one.
it
Derek's
is.
going with your ladder match that were Ryder won.
Yeah.
That was
Oh, yeah.
Dallas, right?
It was. I think it was Houston. Maybe it was Dallas.
I think
No,
it was
it was
Dallas.
Dallas. It was
Yeah, because
Dallas.
they did the new stadium there, the AT&T Stadium. So I think it was
Yeah.
Dallas. That's a cool one to see live. That must have been a hell of a. What was the pop like for that, Derek? Well, like when he actually won that in person, because it was so loud on TV. What was it like? All right. If you could have any theme song, what would it be if you were a superstar?
And it can never have been used before. Shoots and Ladders by Korn.
Never heard it.
Oh man.
Shoots and Ladders.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I gotta look that one up.
Bagpipes in the beginning. Oh boy.
Man, this is a tough question too. That's never been used before. I'm trying to find one that's never been used before. Oh. All right, so I'll go with it's been used in the UFC by Dan Henderson, Henderson, but it'd be Lunatic Fringe.
The Hendo Henderson, the H-bomb.
Lunatic Fringe. I don't know why Tony Khan didn't buy the rights to that for Moxley.
Right.
Like, that would have been a great one for Moxley. Probably Lunatic Fringe, I would say, for me.
He was another great Intercontinental Champion.
Let's see. No, he updated because it was hurt. He was hurt, so it didn't count. Okay. The Pretenders by Foo Fighter. All right. Good pick.
Good one. It's a good one.
Dan Henderson, Michael Bisping, one of the worst knockouts in UFC 100.
When he
Bisping learned a lesson.
Punched him in the fucking jaw, I was like, damn.
How did we meet, Richie? So I wants to know how we became friends. I used to do a show with Vampiro, and Richie is a massive Vampiro fan, was a member of our Patreon at the time. It was a very short-lived show. I've told the story a few times. Yeah, I've told the story a few times on the air here, and I'm definitely not going to rehash that one for the millionth time, but we met through that, and I'll just say Vampiro did some not so flattering things, and Richie was one of the people that was a paid member, and I wanted to try to make it up to him for what he did along with everybody else. And I said, why don't you come on the show? And the rest is history. 5-6 years later now. So we became really good friends. So
yeah,
that's how we met and became friends through the years. So why can't we be friends by war? I like that pick. It's a good pick, Jude.
Interesting.
That's a good pick. Anderson Silva's No Sunshine by DMX.
Right.
Good pick. What about Mosh? Like when Tito Ortiz would come out with it. I love Mosh by Eminem.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Or DMX for Chuck Liddell.
Yeah. Yep. Those are good ones.
Live Lightning Crash. Okay. Good picks here. Interesting picks. All right. What else you guys got for us this week? What do you want to talk about? Tell us anything. Modern, not modern, whatever it might be.
Whatever you want. Yeah.
The guy Kevin answers the podcast with Sean. Something does not like Vampiro at all. A lot of people don't. So he's not necessarily the
love the character.
Yeah,
love the character, but
a lot of people don't like the human being. So, but I'll say that it's for other people to make their decisions on. Moon Baby by Godsmack. I've never heard that song. I don't think
I've heard that one. It's a good one. G.
Is it a good one?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't think I've ever heard that one. All right, I'll throw one out for you. Question for you guys. What did you think of MJF's re-signing? What do you think that they're going to be doing with him? Do you think he's going to become a big-time heel again, where he's actually being the MJF that he's supposed to be? Or
that's what brought him to the dance in the first place. I really think they have to go that route and keep him that way. Mm-hmm. That's what makes MJF so great. He can't be a babyface. Like they built his character up and they've invested so much in that. I don't think that they should do that. I think he needs to stay a heel.
All right, I agree with you there. Hey, we got somebody popping in the stream right now. So let's welcome Laza. Laza, we've never talked before.
Good
day, mate.
Good day.
G'day, how's it going?
How you doing, brother? Buddy? Good to see you, man. What's on your mind tonight, Laza?
Thought I'd get into the subject of talking more about like the invasion stuff because of the like partnerships, whatnot that we've had over the last few years with like WWE, TNA, AEW, Impact, etc.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just thoughts on that, and just the current direction of the current time we're in, and just basically the storytelling and like invasions of the past and how the current times can improve with the current invasions, etc.
Okay.
Well,
Richie, go first.
If they've learned anything from the past and not to repeat the same mistakes, they can't rush it, and they can't use their top dogs to bury their stars that they have over there in TNA. if they do that, that's not going to help anybody. So I think they need to ease into it. And like John said, don't overexpose it. Because if you do and you blow your load all in one shot, I mean, this is something that could really open the door for some money making in wrestling on both sides. I don't see quite the upside on WWE side of doing this, but I commend them for doing it because it's definitely going to help TNA. And who knows, man, we could see Dolph Ziggler have matches with people we used to see and do some fun stuff like that. You know, the Hardy Boys coming back into the picture. You know, it could be good and maybe even create a pay-per-view down the road.
Good perspectives. Yeah. I'll throw it out for my side on that, Laz. I'll throw it out for mine is I think WWE can gain a lot from this if they do it correctly. Like I said earlier, it'd be a good feeder system for them to develop more people. I can also see WWE maybe doing some more work in the near future with more foreign promotions too. Maybe some New Japan I know they're doing work with AEW a lot, maybe a New Japan or some of the other bigger promotions that are over there. I know they recently met, that they had met recently, like within the last 6 months or so with some of the top talent or some of the top executives over there. So, and Tony Khan probably really got salty by that, I would assume, or got maybe a little bit scared. So I think it's a win-win for people to work together. I think it's really not a smart idea to not collaborate. But the hard part about invasion angles to me is that who's going to go over all the time?
Who's going to go over all the time?
Yeah. You're going to argue, I'm sure there'll be a lot of people arguing on who's going to go over in some of these things. It's got to work for both parties, not just one.
Right.
So that would be my opinion on it. What do you think, Lorenz?
One thing I definitely could see if WWE and TNA utilize it, like the bigger stars, it might be harder to do because of politics and you want to keep your bigger stars strong and all that. But maybe like with your NXT and X Division, have like the ones you're trying to evaluate have wins and losses against each other and put some matches together where you get really good matches out of NXT people you're trying to evaluate in X Division, and then it's sort of helping with the foundation of getting people interested just with the matches. And you got like your bigger stars where you can build up how you utilize your bigger stars as a relationship.
Good points. Sure. Great points, man. Hey, Laz, it's great for you to come on, man. You got to pop on again in the near future. Anytime you want to pop on, we're going to open this up every week, so please come on, okay?
No worries. Been a pleasure.
Hey, thanks for your support always, my friend. And everybody, check out Laz's awesome wrestling group. Laz, share it in the comments, would you? So everybody, if they haven't subscribed to Laz's great group, you got to go check it out. So, Laz, thanks, buddy. Appreciate you coming on tonight, okay?
No worries. Been a pleasure. Yeah, Laz's pro wrestling fan group.
There we go. Cool. All right, folks. Awesome stuff. Lazar, we'll see you again soon, buddy. Thanks.
Good day, mate.
Good day, mate. Jude's joining us. What's going on, Jude?
How's it going, guys?
Good, the main man.
Jude, where are you calling from? Or where are you calling in from?
I'm in State College, Pennsylvania. Penn State.
Man, dude, I'm not quite there with the beard, man, but you got a killer beard.
Dude, he does.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Jude, you're in my neck of the woods, actually, bro.
Really?
Yeah, I live right outside of Binghamton, New York.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're not that far from me.
Yeah, a couple hours away. Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
Great to meet you, Jude. It's awesome. Yeah, and as Richie said, that beard is rocking, man. I couldn't do what you guys do, letting it go out like that. So awesome stuff.
It gets in the way sometimes, but it works.
Yeah, 100%. What's on your mind, Jude?
So my question for you guys is, who do you think could save AEW as far as a storyline? Like to build storylines. What storylines would you? Because right now, AEW is just all over the place.
Yeah,
they have this great roster of people, and I think I commented with MJF. I only think he's going to be relevant for them right now, probably 4 or 5 months.
Yeah,
the roster is just oversaturated. So how would you handle that? What storylines would you focus on? Because they kind of, before MJF came back, they died off with the whole Adam Cole angle. Right. Wardlow was going to be champion and he was going to go for the title, and then that kind of died. Yeah. It just seems like they try to throw crap on the wall to see if it sticks.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right. So, I mean, how would you guys handle that roster with all that talent? I mean, because me personally, I think that if they had somebody in AEW that knew what they were doing, AEW could overtake WWE.
Good.
I know that's bold, but I think that they could with that roster that they have. I just think they're wasting talent.
Yeah.
I think you got to start by trimming the roster, to be honest with you. That's my opinion. I think you got to trim the roster right now. It's too overblown. I mean, it's always great to have a lot of great talent. We all know that's wonderful to have. But it's like when you have too much talent, you have too many people, it's like you scramble to try to get everybody involved in some way, and it's impossible. Vince Russo is the prime example of that. People can knock on Vince Russo all they want for his certain things. Vince Russo tried to get everybody involved in WCW and WWF, and it became a detriment to them. So I would trim the roster. There's not one given talent that could take them to that next level because they brought in every major star that they possibly could get by now, unless you're going to bring in somebody to the level of a talent like The Rock or Stone Cold or a Hulk Hogan for a one-off or any of these big names to come in. Like, it's not going to do them in the long run, though, in my opinion, to get them to that next level. There is an opportunity, though, for them to really elevate their star power a little bit, and whether people like her or not, from what she did and her career. She literally carried the WWE through a dark time on her back, too, at certain points, and she's now a free agent. Becky Lynch could be a great sleeper that they could really stand out with this women's division. And some of the work.
Really think that she would go to AEW, though, with Seth being in WWE?
That's the hard part. I don't think so, but there is part of me that does. And the reason
what if Seth goes over too?
Because his contract might come up. So Seth could be a big game changer for them too if his contract, if he doesn't renew it.
Made him at WrestleMania, made him look like a jabroni. I would stick it to him so hard and go over. I mean,
but where would he fit though?
That's the problem because they got too many damn people. MJF. Yeah, they got too many damn people. Yeah. I mean, Becky. Let's be realistic. Tony could throw any money that he wants at a Becky Lynch and a Seth Rollins. So if they want to work, I could see that her going for this reason.
And you got Mox and Seth Rollins in there that you could tell a great storyline.
Yeah.
With.
But here's why Becky could go to AEW, I think, and she could be a big player over there. She's a new mother. She's got a young child that she travels around with right now. AEW's work schedule for them is way lighter than WWE's. They're only working 1 day a week, maybe twice a week with a PLE because they're typically not putting everybody on the same collision and what's the Rampage and stuff. Rampage, I think, is taped right after Dynamite anyways. The schedule might fit her, but storyline that could bring them over the top, man, it's so hard because they've tried everything and it's just not working.
My thing is, though, with you bringing up Becky Lynch, I think they already have that talent with Britt Baker.
Why has she not been out there?
So I've heard that she was hurt, but then she was better. She could have came back, and then they said that they didn't have anything for her. I think right now they're missing the boat on bringing her back with Mercedes Moné. Sasha Banks. Yeah. Sorry, I'm not calling her Mercedes Moné. But
Sasha to us.
It's still Sasha to us. Yeah. It's still
real.
No. Yeah. But I think they're missing the boat on that. I think that could be a money maker. I think that could be a main event at a pay-per-view. With a Britt Baker versus Mercedes Moné. I just think they're missing I think they're missing the boat on a lot of different matches with AEW. Like I've said this before, I think Tony Khan just has a toy box that as a kid you grab those couple of action figures, you're like, man, what the hell am I going to do with these guys? And I think that's what he's doing right now. He's got like we say with Vince, he's got fuck you money. He's got fuck you money right now that he can 100%. Get whatever talent he wants. He's going to throw. Here's the thing: he's not smart enough to not throw all this money at different people. Like the rumor about MJF getting $15 million a year. Yeah. These wrestlers that are going to AEW, they know that they can play Tony Khan.
Yeah, 100%.
So I mean, I think that they're doing that too. And Tony Khan's just going, well, I have the best wrestlers. You do, but you don't know a damn thing to do with them,
right?
So. Yeah.
And that's my opinion on your question, man. To give my perspective on it, if you really want to change the environment at AEW, Tony Khan needs to take a huge step back, I think. And I think that these extra shows need to be cut out because I think it throws a lot of confusion into the storylines and stuff like that. At least that's my experience trying to follow it all. I think
all the shows are like Dynamite from time to time does make sense.
Yeah.
But like Rampage, no sense.
No sense.
Collision, no sense. Collision
there's no direct
CM
vision.
Punk's playground.
Right, absolutely.
You know,
I feel like once they lost Cody Rhodes, that was the vision. You know, he was the big
Yeah.
driving force behind it. And then all of a sudden you had the Bucks take over creative. It seems like Kenny Omega has totally taken a step back from the whole thing, and God knows what's going on with him.
Well, he has health issues right now. He just had surgery for the diverticulitis.
Yeah.
Yeah, diverticulitis is no joke. I've had friends that have had that, and it's taken them
Yeah.
years. And I mean, athletes, you know, it's taken them years to come back from that.
I truly believe that Kenny Omega is going to be a big part of, if he gets back in the game and can engage again, bringing them back, you know, at least a little bit.
Give Billy Gunn the belt and then put him on top and have him pass the torch.
I don't know if Billy Gunn has the star power or ever has had the star power to be that.
No, I've never been a big Billy Gunn fan in any way. I mean, I like the Outlaws; they were great, but yeah, I've never really.
Don't forget about Rockabilly.
Rockabilly.
Yeah,
that was the dark ages.
Man, you got a marquee match.
Yeah,
God.
Yeah.
It was like every week.
Taz.
Yeah, Rockabilly and Taz for sure. That's a match we could still book right here, Jude.
Yeah.
That could bring him over the top. Rockabilly and Taz take over AEW. Let's know
see, Taz versus Excalibur.
Dude,
Jude, anything else on your mind tonight, buddy?
No, guys. I enjoyed the podcast. Glad I found you guys, and you know, hopefully I could jump on here again sometime with you guys.
Absolutely.
Always welcome, man. The more the merrier on this stream that we do on Tuesday nights, Jude. Thanks for coming on, buddy. Really appreciate it.
No problem, guys.
All right, we'll see you again soon, buddy.
Yep.
All right, awesome stuff tonight, guys. Glad a couple of you guys popped on. We really appreciate it and everything. So you guys are awesome, man. Really can't say enough.
Love the show. I love the group of guys that show up. It's a fun show. You guys make my Tuesday night every night. So
every week, guys, we just have a blast and stuff. Yeah. So 100%. It's always it's always awesome every week to have all you guys come on and join us. And you know, you guys are just awesome here, week in and week out as we are growing the show. You guys are just totally. Yep, you guys are just totally appreciated, 100%.
Motivates us to come back, make more content. So.
Yep, Jude and Laza tonight. Thanks, guys, for coming on and jumping on. And like I said, we're going to open this up every week. So if you guys got anything you want to say, you ever want to pop on the stream like Jude and Laza did tonight, we'd love to have you come on and join us on the overtime part of this and hear you guys' thoughts. And
we got to push for Rewind to do it.
Rewind, come on. All right.
You got to do it. Come on, man. You got the open. Taz is the GOAT. Well, I'll acknowledge your Taz is the GOAT if you come on next week.
Clash at the Castle is going to rock. All right. Cool. All right. Top 5 greatest pay-per-views of all time. That could be a good topic next week.
That would be a great one.
Yeah. What do you guys got, though? What do you want to hear next week? Let us know.
Yeah,
gladly. Sure. I'll look at the comments later on. If you guys got some ideas on what you want to see, please feel free. Everybody, we had a blast tonight. It's been so much fun, as it always is. Rewind says, let's see. Hold on. Yeah, I will come up. How do I set it up? Rewind. Next time, I'll put a link up again, and you can come on the next show that we do next Tuesday. So come back next Tuesday, okay? Laza says, what AEW should learn from history is where Bischoff failed. Build your fresh stars. Don't throw your money at everyone who uses the ones to throw money at and help your product. Yeah, absolutely. Laza, it's been a pleasure, 100%. Chester Nutter, thank you so much as well. Nice to see you out for the first time, my friend. And man, everybody, you guys are awesome.
We appreciate it, man.
Yep. Hit that hit that thumbs up for whatever you're watching on YouTube, or if you're on Facebook, hit the like on that as well. Make sure you subscribe and hit that bell and notification on YouTube, guys. We'd really appreciate that. And then on Facebook, make sure you subscribe as well. And
eventually, I kind of putting John on the spot here with this, but I've got still a massive wrestling collection of good stuff out here. If you guys keep showing up, one of these days I'm going to do a giveaway for you guys for the great turnouts we've had and the fun. I think it'll make things interesting. So stay tuned for that as well.
Absolutely. All right, everybody. Thanks for another great stream tonight. Come back later on this week. I know Chris does a show every Friday night. He's always having a good time with everybody on Chris's stuff that he's doing. And I might be able to do a stream with Chris tomorrow. I'm not sure. Thursday, I can't be streaming with Chris like we always do because I'm going to a wrestling show. Midget wrestling, Richie.
Midget wrestling. My God.
Yes.
God help you.
Micromania is what they're calling it. So it'll be interesting. I've never seen one of those. So it'll be a first time. We might be back tomorrow night. It all depends, guys. So I don't know if I will be able to tomorrow, but if I can, me and Chris might do something then. So you guys are awesome. I don't think Richie's on Facebook. You're not on Facebook, right, Richie?
Yeah, I'm on there. I'll send you a friend request, Jeremy. And I actually got a lot of people I got to send friend requests to. I'm getting back into the social media thing. So, for sure.
All right, good stuff. All right, everybody.
Saturn is the oh god, here we go.
There's a good one, Rand. That could be a whole nother topic for another day. Well, guys, you guys are the best. We hope you come back again and join us later on. And once again, on Sundays, check out the radio show. And every Saturday and Sunday, 9 to 10 p.m. on WDJY. We put the links up on our Facebook. So we're out, guys. We'll see you later. Thanks for listening, watching, whatever you're doing. The Retro Wrestling Revival.